Fashion in the period of modernism. Fashion is often called a type of conceptual art. The combination of different elements, clothing, accessories, and color solutions, creates a single, individual image. Therefore, with the emergence of the modern style, which replaced obsolete trends in art, the most famous couturiers of the early 20th century began to embody its main canons in clothing collections. The legacy of modern style is multifaceted and complex. It contains not only undeniable values and artistic discoveries but also evidence of unresolved aesthetic contradictions. Answering the question of whether fashion is a product of modernism, it should be stated that present-day fashion is based on the main principles and ideas of modernism but also depicts other periods. Modern is the name of the style, which was widely used in the art of the late 19th and early XX centuries. The main content of the modern was the desire of artists to contrast their creativity with the historicism and eclecticism of art of the second half of the 19th century. The artists refused straight lines and angles for more natural lines. They were interested in new technologies and the flowering of applied art. Modern style and clothes, the desire for practicality. The fashion of modernism passed in its development in three stages. The first stage, 1898-1900, assumed the figure's correct posture and the sleeves expansion from the wrist to the shoulders. The skirt had the shape of a bell, elongated and trimmed with frills. The second stage, 1901-1905, is characterized by the S silhouette, large hats, a natural shoulder line, extended sleeves, and a richly decorated skirt. The third stage, 1905-1907, was distinguished by a shortened skirt, slightly opening the toe of the shoes and practically devoid of decor, and the return of the silhouette to a normal vertical position. Since 1903, dresses had become freer, corsets had gradually disappeared. Upper clothes were supplemented with hats, current, shoes, and boots with lacing and heels, umbrellas with frills, walking sticks, gloves, and mitts. Underwear made of crispy fabric was very fashionable because of the rustling sounds, which, together with the strong smell of perfume, created the impression of airiness. They wore a kimono coat over evening dresses with a deep neckline. The most refined part of the fashion was undoubtedly jewelry. No period in the history of art gave it such importance as modernism. Jewelry complemented the costume and became a kind of emblem, a symbol, forming a certain female type. Outstanding fashion figures of the period of modernism. The French couturier Paul Poiret became a new fashionable reformer who insisted on releasing the lady's body from the suffocating corset and changing rigid skeleton skirts to dresses and skirts of a softer cut, with flowing fabrics and free lines. In addition to old fashion, Poiret introduced the features of the Japanese national costume in Europe, particularly in France, which surprisingly harmoniously fit into the European dress. So, the Western suit began to take root in the kimono, which found its use in both home clothes and secular dresses. The hobble skirt was the invention of Poiret and another bow that was used in the ethnic fashion of the East. This skirt contrasted sharply with the romantic, lush skirt bell, was fitting to the body to the ankles, and did not allow to make full steps, dooming women to a small, seminal gait. The volume of sleeves gradually disappeared, they were more and more adjacent to the hand. The entire period of the modern covered the work of the Frenchwoman Jeanne Paquin. Her fashion house opened in 1891 and very soon gained popularity among aristocrats who ordered her evening dresses. She worked in a rather conservative style, offering outfits of the S-shaped silhouette, but she became the first woman in the world of fashion to achieve international recognition and was even awarded the Order of the Legion of Honor. It cannot be said that the fashion designers of this time revolutionized fashion, forcing women to remove the shackles of tight corsets and abandon the crinolines for light, elegant outfits. The image of modern women became intermediate when there was a gradual and painless refusal from fanciful, sometimes romantic, but not always comfortable volumes with the introduction of clean lines and falling fabrics with a general tendency towards minimalism. Modern fashion is not a pure product of modernism but largely based on its principles and ideas.